wonderful day to all of you. Today, here with us, we have a very special person to have an insightful conversation. He has been in the public medical sector with over 38 years of experience covering different parts of Sri Lanka, and currently he's prematurely retired and practicing as a general practitioner. Hello, Dr. Rizvie Salih.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good, Nepa. Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm doing great, doctor.
Good.
So, as a doctor since 1986 with almost over experience of 38 years, how the whole experience has been as a doctor?
Well, it has been truly, I think, satisfying, and I feel at this stage that I have done what is humanly possible by me. So I think the road has been good. Actually, it started in November 1986, long time ago, when I first went for my internship at the Norelia Base Hospital. Of course, at that time it was a very small hospital. Today you see a huge sprawling hospital. Then it was only, they had just 3 units there. They had a medical unit, a surgical unit, and an obstetric gynecology unit. That's all. There was not even a pediatric unit. So they had 3 consultants and we were 6 doctors. That's it. Then in the OPD there was about 2 other doctors. We could not even form a cricket team. It was such a small concern, and it was catering mostly to the estate sector. Patients from the estates used to be brought in their estate lorries. So it was a very poor, helpless, and I could, there's nothing wrong in saying, totally neglected part of our society. Productive, but neglect. It was they who were coming there, totally, almost illiterate. So attending to them, looking after them, I was, of the 4 years I stayed there, 3 years I was spent in the maternity ward, giving my best to them when they needed it most. It was very, very, very touching. Indeed, it was really touching. You know, some of them I know, they have never been even spoken to properly. They have never been even exposed to kindness. Starting from the father and mother, I think, and to their husband, forget about it, that fellow. And when they go to work to pluck these, I mean, they have been pushed from pillar to post, talked rudely, and you just talk to them nicely. I mean, they're so happy, you know. So I felt that, and at that moment when they are in pain and most difficult period of their womanhood, I'm happy that I was able to give them that sort of kindness. So it started there. That's where it started, you know. So it's very important, I think, when in the life of a doctor, where you start. Where you start, and my consultant whom I worked with first, a very human person. He was very strict. Today, even if I tell them a consultant comes to the hospital, he has to start his work at 8 o'clock, he comes at 7 o'clock. And to come at 7 in Norelia, it's difficult. And when he comes at 7, I have to be there at 6. I have to make the board ready for him. So 6 o'clock in Norelia in the court, it's not easy. And anyway, thank God, we worked hard. I start at 6 and I finish at 2. You thought 2 in the afternoon? 2 in the morning. I mean, that sort of training, I don't think is there in many hospitals in Sri Lanka today. So this puts in a sense of commitment and sense of satisfaction also, at least. Maybe at that time, I mean, I don't know how it is, but today, looking back at it, it's very satisfying that I have given my best to where it is, you know. So these are the experience of life. So I think I continue to do that thereafter also, even after leaving Norelia, the government sector here. I worked for 13 years until I retired prematurely. And even in the private sector, my clinic is situated in a poor area of Colombo in Maradana. The patients who come there are middle and lower middle class people. Again, marginalized. And also, I think, I'm not wrong if I say unfairly treated always. Because it's very frankly, when you are poor, you are marginalized. When you don't, when your purse is not fat enough, you are marginalized. Everywhere. You go to a hospital, you're marginalized. You go to a government thing, you're marginalized. You go to a police station, you're marginalized. Everybody looks at how fat your purse is. So I see a segment of the population, 95% of my patients are those who are middle class and lower middle class. You would ask me, why would they go to private health institution? Yes, they come here because they have other children at home, they can't wait. You're at a government hospital, you have to go at 8 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock for the doctor to come there at 8 and see the patient. By the time you finish, take your medicine, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they come back home as if they're going on a pilgrimage. The other children are neglected, can't be looked after, and also a segment of the population that I serve has a language barrier, which they find it difficult to converse when they go to but that is why they come, not because they have fat purses. So this has always been at the back of my mind that they need help. So that's been my journey of 38 years, I could say.
So Dr. Rizvie, I think it's very important and a must that we speak a little about your family as well. I'm sure they have been a strength and a pillar of support to you in terms of your career as a doctor over almost 30 years in the practice. So how was the support that you received from your family?
Well, yeah, very, very pertinent, I think earlier, unlike now, I used to work very long hours. So much so that one day, I'll just tell you, because it's not about family now, I'm coming to something else. So long, I had once finished work, coming out of the door, I've just seen a patient, actually there was a delivery, I finished that. The patient's husband, first question he asked me, how do you manage sleep? I said, no problem, she just delivered, she'll sleep till morning. No, I'm asking you, how do you manage your sleep? He touched me because he said, I saw you here almost from yesterday, and how do you manage? So I said, okay, I manage my sleep, it's okay. So that's what, so family is very important, being a doctor, especially if you are busy, it's very important. My wife has been a real pillar of strength. When my children were small, she even tells me now that you missed out a lot. So maybe I think I do, but now I have a granddaughter. So I spend a lot of time with her. And those moments I spend with my granddaughter, I recollect to see, did I do this thing with my children? I don't think I did that because I don't have sort of spent a lot of time, like a sort of more loving time, because now I'm a bit free than before. Not that free, but than before. So this is how, so as a result, I think my son also, he's a bit older to my daughter by about 3 years or so. He got very good A-level results. So when I told him go into medicine, he said, Pa, I will do it as a punishment. He didn't want to do medicine. Probably he felt that it's too much of hard work, So he went in to do engineering and business administration together. My daughter, of course, was different. She wanted to do nothing but medicine. So she finished the medicine and she's in postgraduate training in the UK. So family, yes, family is very important. But sad to say, we were I was actually sort of taken up a lot about, passionate about my profession, get very involved in my work, so that's it, But my wife always stood by me. My children also always was supportive of what I was doing.
Dr. Rizvie, you are an executive committee member of NPP, Jatika Jana Balaveka. Now, when you could proudly serve as a doctor, what made you go for a decision to shift into politics? I'm sure your family and the loved ones also could have raised this concern. What made you actually go for that shift?
Right. I think a part of the question you already answered it. You said that you could proudly serve as a doctor. But is it sort of a shameful thing to serve in politics? Is that so? Yes, it is. To what it has fallen today, what politics and politicians, the low level they have fallen today, yes, it's a bit of a shameful thing. Yeah, but main thing is, I believe, and I think you agree with me, if you don't, there's a saying, if you don't involve yourself in politics, you will end up being ruled by wicked people Today, exactly this is what has happened. Everybody, all these years thought that politics is not for us. When the election time comes, let's see, or tick-tock, let's see who is there. No took or the tick-tock, only two parties were there all these years. So we will just vote for somebody and let them do, it's their job, it's not our job to do. So this is what it has happened today. Politics has become such a corrupt, robbing profession. Not only a profession, it has become a family business. I mean, shameful to say, when somebody comes to politics, one person will come and then he lines up his own, even the unborn child is lined up to take over from the grandfather. So this has become so. Today what has happened? The economy has fallen down. It has not fallen down by itself. They made it fall. Wrong economic management, wrong financial management, and wrong policies, and the robbing on top of it all. They made this today in this country. I mean, we have fallen to such low levels. As a result of that, our transport system, our education system, who is in charge of education? If I ask you today, somebody who asks who is in charge of education, they don't know who is in charge of education. And I don't know whether he has this basic knowledge of what's happening. So people have been put there just to serve themselves. Also, our every aspect of public administration is down. Our law and order situation is really shameful. Some wonder, for example, I'm telling you, you ask me why politics. Okay, you drive a vehicle on the road, you're driving a vehicle, somebody comes and hits you. Don't go to the police today. You're wasting your time. Just find out who the other person is. And he's somebody, there's no way. Just forget about it. Go repair your car, repair the dent in your car. So it has become so bad. The law and order situation has become so disgraceful today. So this is the reason why I thought, and not only me, actually now today, many people who once thought that politics is not our forte, they have become interested in it, because that is why you see a new resurgence in this country. People are getting involved in politics because they want a better country for them. They have nothing to take for them. In my matter, I'm telling you, at my age, nothing to gain, nothing to lose. And okay, coming to the question you asked me whether my family is concerned about my coming into politics. Yes, they would all. My son actually told me, "You are a good doctor, so why don't you continue with that?" So that is not enough. I mean, so what will happen? You do your thing and go off, and the next generation, because I see patients, I deliver patients. I see those little kids who come there today. They're having a bad future. I know that for sure. I know so many mothers tell me, one mother even told me she has 4 children. She has 2 girl children, 2 boy children. She said, "Doctor, I don't send my girl children to school. Which class are they? One is 6, one is 9. Why? Can't afford to send them to school. So I'm only sending my boy children." So see what the economy, the ruination of the economy has caused to this mother. So many children. If I were to tell you these things, you start crying. One mother came and told me, I hope I don't cry, yeah? Told me, "Doctor," when I told her, "Don't eat meat," because she has some, I said, "Don't avoid meat." She said, "I have seen meat a long time. Long time I haven't seen meat. I only eat once a day. I have 4 children in school. When they come back from school, my father, my husband, the children's father, is a salesman at a hardware store very near to our house. When they come from school every day, I tell them, 'Children,' I put the food on the table, 'Eat, this is for you all. Your father came early and I joined your father and had the lunch. All this is for you.'" She said, "My husband never came home ever for lunch. I never had with him. We only eat once a day because රැට කන්න නැත්තම් නිින්ද යන්නේ doctor." I mean, that is the state of affairs. So why is this? Because we have been letting those so-called politicians run this country. And we are seeing a generation that has no future. Everybody can't send their children abroad. So I mean, they have to have, why should they do that? Just because there is a clique and another clique of rogues that have today come together to ruin this nation, and they have done that very effectively. The ruination has been done very effectively, and who is suffering in the end? The people are suffering. So I have a duty, and so do other citizens of this country have a duty to put their foot down and say, no, enough is enough. We will not let you do this in the future. We will make sure, or we will strive the hardest in our lifetimes, and very soon this change is going to happen. That's why I am in politics.
Very thought-provoking answer, Doctor. You have almost 38 years of expertise as a doctor, right? Now, talking about the current healthcare sector and its issues, do you see any specific root causes that cause those pressing issues in the medical healthcare sector? And you think there's anything you could do to make it better?
Are you especially referring to the public healthcare system?
Yes.
To the government sector healthcare system? Yes. Actually, it's in shambles. Like everything else in our country, like the economy, like the education, like when it comes to transport, healthcare system also has fallen to the lowest of the low. So it's a shame, But whatever it is, when it comes to things like economy, education, public administration, transport, it does affect the health of the person. It affects the longevity, or it does affect the head. But when it comes to health per se, it affects the life, the health, and the longevity of the person. So there is immense corruption today, which, as you would have heard about the immunoglobulin scam, all about the eye drop scam. All this is because of the corruption. When it comes to purchasers of these drugs, which there was a lot of corruption there. When it comes to purchasers, there are the checks and balances built into it already. But what happened is, when corruption starts from the very top, these checks and balances become totally redundant. It's not effective, and it's totally useless. So this is what happened. People who were supposed to get this IgG immunoglobulins, they are given, as you know, they are given to patients who are immunocompromised, who are already tested by nature to get down an inferior product or totally ineffective product due to various other concerns, due to various other benefits they received, and give it to a patient is shameful, sinful, and putrid. And also when it comes to eye drops, these eye drops that were involved in this scam were eye drops that are instilled into those patients who undergo cataract surgeries. Today, cataract surgery is such a simple procedure. I remember when I had my cataract surgery, my appointment was at 7 o'clock. I was working till 4 p.m. I went to the hospital straight from there, and I had my surgery. I was at home by about 10 o'clock. It's like a walk-in thing today. It's just a walk-in. You just go, put a lens and come home. Okay? So it's basically that. But to have such a safe surgery, successful surgery, and finally come home, instill this inferior quality infected eye drops and to go blind is again shameless, unforgivable. It amounts to almost murder. It's a criminal offense. So that is why today we see there's a minister in jail, and to go to face it. I mean, you go abroad, you just say, everybody knows this is, you're a doctor, is it your minister that is in jail today? It's a very shameful thing, So this is what happened. So these things need to be put right. So only way we could do this is we have to change the heads there. Heads there. Once change starts there, the other things, they change, and good ethics, good behavior, discipline will percolate down to the lower rungs.
Dr. Rizvie, there's this particular statement that you often mention in your public forums where you say that you get the opportunity to deliver some of the children of the patients that you delivered some time ago. How has it been? And I would love to hear some of the experiences which relate to that statement.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it happened. It happened many times, and it's happening often. So much so that I'm actually delivering the second child of the day baby I delivered years ago. Second child. Some very, very often mothers come and tell me, doctor, you delivered this girl, so I brought her, so you deliver her, my child also. I mean, it's heartening, it's heartening, and the happiness is beyond words. At the same time, I feel, am I that old? That's the feeling I get, so it's really, really good, So, yes, it has happened so many times, and because I am involved in more of a family practice, patients I see are from a poorer segment of the society, or middle or lower middle class, I could say, because my clinic is at the hospital that I worked at is at Maradana, so it's a poorer area like that. People who come there come not because they could afford it, but because they need the privacy. They have a language barrier when they go to the government sector. So these are the factors that make them somehow, I could say, scrape the bottom and come and get them delivered. But then, of course, I attend to them very humanly. So it's some satisfaction that I would relish until I'm around.
Interesting. Dr. Rizvie, is there any particular unique experience that you would love to share with us?
Well, there have been so many unique experience I cannot forget. So one of them I could just tell you offhand is once I remember a lady who came to me. She was quite obese. She was a big lady, and she came to me and for antenatal visit, very early stage of pregnancy, maybe about 3 months or so. So her history, I took her history. She said that this is her 10th baby, which is a very rare thing today, 10th baby. So I thought it's actually generally unsafe to deliver in the private sector, and also this is a very good teaching material. A teaching material for in the teaching hospital that because I'm sure the doctors in training, the medical student very rarely today would see a patient who is pregnant for the 10th time. And she said all her deliveries have been normal deliveries. So I thought best thing is, so I gave a note to a particular consultant, obstetrician, and saying that this patient is just 3 months pregnant, this is your 10th baby, and send her for the antenatal care and also for subsequent delivery. So I thought that's done, So one day, so many months after that, I was just about to leave my clinic. I got into my car to see blaring horning, a 3-wheel comes and stops right behind me. Probably that driver, 3-wheel chap, knew that I'm going to go, and so he wanted to block my car. I wondered who this is now. Then I could see somebody coming out, a big, huge woman getting out from the behind. I saw her, I asked her, what are you doing here? I remember I saw you months ago. What are you doing here? She just told me, like she signaled with her hand, make room for me. She just did that, and she knew where the labor room was. She just walked there, lay on the bed, baby pops out. Just pops out just like that. Then I was stunned. I couldn't even go. I was just about to go to see baby's out. She just sort of just pops out from there. So I was just thinking, and it just touched me, I didn't tell you what happened. She had gone to actually this particular person, and she had gone to so many other hospitals also. One person she has gone, and then even that person had said no, return the money also in the private sector, return the money. I can't see you. She had gone so many other places, nobody was willing to take her. Who is going to look after her? Even she had gone to the state hospital, and they were not willing to take her. So I was just thinking that, I asked her after she delivered, what happened? Then she told me that nobody was willing to take me. Then anyway, I thought if man is not going to help, God will help. And I have really to this day not seen anybody delivering that easily. She just vomited it out, what I could say. Right?
So Dr. Rizvie, there's this another interesting thing that I found about you that I need more insights on. I heard that you're the president of Shotokan Karate Do International Federation. How has that experience been?
Well, I could say it's almost by accident that I happened to be there, and I'm still there actually. Actually, my children, my son actually wanted to learn karate from a very young age. Actually, really from 5 years of age, he was so interested in learning karate. Then I took him to the karate instructor here. He was Bonnie Roberts. I took him there and told him, look here, so my son wants to learn karate. He said, okay, but don't expect him to get a black belt in 2 years. I said, no, that's not my interest. He just likes to learn. So he started that. So with that, then my daughter also became a little bigger. She also became 5 years. She was also very keen to learn. So both of them started learning. So this person became more of a very friend to us. So as time went on, of course, after that, he wanted to very keen to go for the Shotokan Karate-Do International Federation. The Sri Lankan branch is here. The main headquarters is in Japan. So Japan headquarters has over 100 branches around the world. So they had their world championship. The world championship of the Shotokan Karate-Do International Federation is like the Olympics of karate. So it was a big event. So my son was very keen to go. I told Mr. Bonnie Roberts. He said, okay, carry on, you go. And his chief instructor was then the same person who is there now. So both of us thought, okay, I thought, okay, so I was sent as the manager and the chief instructor, as the instructor, the coach, and my son also went. So there I met these people at the headquarters, and there was a sort of a first-hand knowledge of them, and there was sort of a friendship created. So when I came back, a few months after the Bonnie Roberts passed away, then what happened? They wanted me to organize this, to revive this, and I did that. And then the coach who went at that time was, I suggested that he be made chief instructor. So today, to this day, he's the chief instructor of the association. And I happen to be the president of the association. So that's how I came into sort of karate. I have an honorary third Dan black belt from Shotokan Karate-Do International Federation in Japan. So my son also went to do well in karate. He's got a second Dan. My daughter was a first Dan black belt. So actually, this is how it is. So anyway, from since we took over, we revived the association, we had taken it to the schools. We do the karate classes at Ladies College, Colombo, Good Shepherd Convent in Copenhagen, and also took it to the provinces. We wanted to take this discipline to the provinces. So today in Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, a lot of places in Kandy, even in the eastern province, we have so many of the instructors who have sort of qualified or have been trained by the association. They are conducting karate classes. I think karate is a discipline, physical and mental discipline. It teaches you tolerance. It's not throwing your weight about. I'm just telling you, for example, if you have ever heard of an incident where a woman or child or a female was in danger on something, and she was in danger, some people are who want to be bad with them, and you hear always, if you hear something, you will always hear somebody who came to their rescue or somebody who had learned the discipline of karate from a proper instructor. You very rarely hear of somebody of that nature getting involved in a brawl on the road or street fighting or anything like that. No, because even this amount of discipline has been inculcated in the art of karate. So that is a very good sport that they should excel in. So that's why I thought I will spend a little more time and commit myself to improving this sport, which I think I have done to a certain extent and still intend to do.
Absolutely interesting.
Okay.
So Dr. Rizvie, since we have reached almost towards the end of this insightful conversation, do you have any final thoughts to share with your viewers?
Well, yes. What I would like to tell viewers is that we have a very sad, pathetic, and what could I say? A sad, pathetic, and disastrous condition in our country today. This has been brought on us. It's not a natural happening. If it was something like a tsunami or an earthquake or a cyclone or a whirlwind or something, it's a natural happen. This sad situation today, when it comes to every aspect of society today, be it the economy, be it the education system, be it the health services, be it the public administration and law and order, it's in a very disastrous state. So all this is because every one of us thought that politics is something for those whom we termed as politicians. Finally, as everyone says, as you all know, when good people keep away from politics, you will be ending up being ruled by rogues and ruled by very wicked people. So this is what has happened today. They have no concern for the country, no concern for the next generation. They are only interested in their own families and how they could increase their wealth. So my message to you is, we have to make a change. It's not just a change of heads where everybody is thinking, oh, we don't want a change of heads. We want a change of the total political and social culture that is existing today in this country. So I think we should all rally round and make it happen, because this is the final that any country could fall to. It's a shame of the world. Sri Lanka has become a shame of the world.